night. Prophet Jason Lepard. Come expecting your miracle. God has something for you tonight. Stay tuned. You can find us on Instagram Live, Telegram Live. You can email us at jason@kingdomwealthnow.co. Or you can visit us on our website at www.godsavingministries.com. Or you can tune in 24 hours a day and listen to the radio station, Kingdom Radio, at www.thekingdomradio.com. Or you can go to the podcast at www.thekingdompodcast.com. There you will find archives of all the messages we have preached. If you're looking to start a business online or go to our online school, email me for more information at jason@kingdomwealthnow.co. Or you can sign up for our daily Word from God email at connect.godsavingministries.com. If you want to financially support us, you can also go to Venmo at God Saving Ministries. Or do you have Cash App at God Saving Ministries? Stay tuned. Prophet Jason Lepard. All right, guys, welcome tonight. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be doing something tonight phenomenal. A little bit different, guys. This is Marriage 101 tonight. We're going to be talking about a subject called, Does Sex Really Matter? We're going to be talking about this tonight. Let me turn this echoing down a little bit, guys. Let me find something else to... There we go. Kind of a little bit of echo, and I don't need an output. I know it's going out, so that's all that matters. We're going to be talking about a good subject tonight, guys. It's really going to bless you and your family, especially your spouse. We are doing... hold on, guys. There we go. Hey, Facebook. Hello, everybody. Listen, guys, we're going to be doing something tonight, Marriage 101, we've never done before. We're going to be talking about how God's healing our marriage, what God is doing in our marriage, and what he can do with you. Oh, that fan's on. Can you turn that off?
I didn't turn it on.
Here, I'll turn it on.
I'll turn it off, no problem. I didn't know.
But anyways, guys, we're going to be doing something tonight. I know it's going to be a little bit different. You guys on Facebook, whoever's tuning in on Facebook, whatever, we're going to be talking about a subject called, Does Sex Really Matter? And this is Marriage 101 tonight. I really felt led to do our Marriage 101 tonight. We're going to try to do this. I'm praying about some things because Friday night's fixing to come up. We're fixing to start doing Friday night, guys. So if you're not on here on Friday night, we're going to be on Zoom too. You need to get on our emailing list and our phone list. Listen, we text now. We got a text service that we're texting people. I'm going to try to get somebody on that to start doing that. Texting people on our text list. I just recently started that. We tried Telegram. I didn't like Telegram. Telegrams, I just didn't like it. We went to Telegram. I didn't really feel led to do Telegram, but we are running a cell phone ministry now. So we're going to be sending out texts to you guys. So if you want to get on the list to know what's happening, what's next in the ministry, what's next, what's coming up next, and just learn. We also got a online school, guys. If you're called to ministry, we got an online school. You can go in and register on our classes, on our courses. We're going to be having some books to help you with marriage. I believe God is doing something in marriages. We've been listening to a podcast called Naked Marriage. Really good podcast. I don't know if you need to check it out, but go check them out.
Oh, they're wonderful.
They're wonderful people. I just tuned in, and they actually been doing it for 5 years, the podcast. So we also got Kingdom Podcast. You can tune in on our podcast. We upload every week to our podcast. So whatever comes on here goes on our podcast. So, and it's called thekingdompodcast.com. You can go on the website. We have a podcast too. We got a live radio you can go on 24 hours a day. We're actually live on the radio now. And we got a TV station too. We're on Kingdom Network TV. You can go on our YouTube channel. We're growing on there as well. I think we're almost about to hit 2,800 subscribers. Praise God. We are growing.
Yep.
We are growing on our YouTube channel, guys. I just want to give God the glory for that. But anyways, I want to get into this tonight about sex. Does sex really matter? And I want to talk about 3 subjects. We're going to be talking about the mind, the body, and the spirit. And you say, Jason, what does that have to do with sex? Oh, that has a lot to do with sex. A whole lot. And sex is very important in a marriage. And we got my wife on here tonight. She's right over here. Hold on. There she is. There's our camera. That's your camera.
Excuse me, I just came from work and look a mess.
Yeah, she's my mess. She's my mess.
Yeah, we've been listening to the Naked Marriage podcast. Dave and Ashley. Let me make sure that's right. Dave and Ashley Willis. We do the podcast ourselves as well, but we've been listening to them, and they're Christian based. So this is all centered around Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're a Christian, yes, sex is still in the picture, still in your marriage. Just because you're a Christian, don't exempt you from being able to have that in your life with your spouse,
mm-hmm.
in your marriage.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and go over some matters. We're gonna listen to my wife, what she thinks about it, what I think about it, and that's how we're gonna do this tonight. We're gonna get input from both sides. God is doing something in our marriage as well. We have struggled in some areas, but God's bringing us out.
By the way, happy birthday to this jewel right here. Today, he is
28.
30 years old in his mind. But he's really, God's blessed him with 47 years. And we've had 11 of them together. And I thank God for that.
Me too. Gorgeous, wonderful, wonderful woman.
These memories together. We don't have a perfect marriage, but we're a naked marriage. We're being open.
Oh yeah.
With each other, not just physically naked, but
spiritually.
Letting yours.
And ladies, I wrote a book on Amazon.
Yes.
You can go check that out. It's a good
ladies
book.
And men, but ladies.
You gotta live naked before each other. If you're not honest and open with one another, you can't be healed. Because James says, confess your faults to one another that you may be healed. But see, our problem is we hide our faults.
Communicating is part of being open. The major part, the main part,
mm-hmm.
is communicating, is being open.
Being
Releasing
open.
That.
I'm trying to get her to get in her mic, but she's way over here near me.
Y'all. Am I playing
She wants more of me. I understand that,
well,
and that's okay.
Do I really need that mic? Let me know. Somebody say on there if you can hear me clearly.
Well, they're all over Facebook. We just can't see them.
I know that.
We're on Instagram there. We can see them, but we can't see all the Facebook pages we're on.
Well, that's fine too.
Okay, we're going to be talking about the mind, body, and spirit. What does sex have to do with that? And this is what I looked up, and it was real interesting. Does sex really matter? Does sex really matter to God? First of all, I want to say that sex was created by God. Yes, it was. I don't care how religious you think you are. The first porn that was ever created was by God. You say, well, Jason, you're saying that God created porn? Yes, he did. Matter of fact, if you go back in Genesis chapter 3, the Bible said they were naked in the garden. And that's what it says. That's exactly what it says. They were naked. They didn't have no clothes whatsoever. So God made them naked for a reason, so they can explore and enjoy each other's body.
As their spouse. As a marriage.
But you gotta go back. Here's the thing, guys. In the garden, they were both naked. But there were only two people in that garden, man and woman. That's it. That's the reason why they were naked, because they were the only one in the garden. Besides the enemy. Now the enemy was in the midst of the garden, but the enemy was not in form of flesh, only they was. And people say, well, how do you know that? Well, he said it, don't touch the forbidden fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden. See, a tree is not a human, guys. It's not human flesh. But he said, cursed is the man that hangs from a tree. See, Satan was already cursed even in the midst of the garden. He was already cursed. He got casted down out of heaven. So he was going to try to bring people down with him, so that's what happened. But when we first started off in the garden, we were both naked and unashamed. That means I can look at this woman with no shame. She can show me her body with no shame. When she has shame, then there's something wrong. Either she's dealing with something inside of her, insecurity, ladies. I'm too fat, I'm too ugly. But if she can't show me her body with no strength, now this is deep, and this is going to help you ladies, because this is what's in my book. If she can't show me strings, no attached, of looking at herself and let me look at her, then she's got something wrong with her. Because a lot of you ladies, what y'all do, you sit in the mirror, I'm too fat, this don't look good on me, what is he going to think? But see, you're naked, but you're not ashamed. You're not ashamed of what God has created you and gave you. Now, I know God probably didn't give you the 100-ton belly. But like I say, if you just can't find peace about it, then do something about it. Go lose weight, go to the gym, go do something about it. If you just can't find peace with it, you can fix your body. They call it gym and weights and losing weight, running and losing weight. If you're not happy with yourself, ladies, by all means, get happy. Because if you can't learn to, I told my daughter this today, if you cannot learn to love yourself, how can you share love with somebody else? So we're talking about, does sex really matter? And why are we getting in on this subject of her body being naked and my body being naked? Why are we getting on this subject? Because her body is important to me to look at. You want to know why men turn to porn, guys? I'm telling you the truth. Because we fight with stuff that a woman fights with. She fights with insecurity. She fights with past hurts. She fights with all kind of stuff. But she's got to get past that so I can do my job to stare at her instead of porn. That's why men get tempted to look at porn, because they have nothing to look at here. And people say, well, I'm not comparing myself to porn. I'm not comparing you to porn. I'm comparing you to a woman that God gave me to be not ashamed of her body. Because if she's ashamed of her body, not to show it to me. You follow what I'm saying here? Then she can't truly open up to me and give me what I need. And what do I need? I need visual contact. If I don't get visual contact on her, then Satan's going to tempt me to go where? Look somewhere else. That's what he does. But my true desire is to uncover this. That's what God's purpose was in the garden. They were both naked but unashamed. They were unashamed of each other. Otherwise, they can look at each other and say, wow, I desire her. I can look at her body and desire her. But the problem is we blame it on the man. Well, he just wants to look. Look. God designed a man to look. How do you think lust came into the world? By the lust of what? The eyes. Did y'all not read the Bible where she touched the forbidden fruit and she saw that it was good first? It always starts in the eye. Lust starts in your eyes. It don't start in your, well, it does start in your ears, ladies, but it ends up in your eyes.
Through the mouth, the ears, or the eyes, in some way, shape, or form. And when you're married, and in this aspect of your body's no longer yours, my body's no longer mine, it's for your spouse, and your spouse only, not for others or anything or everyone. It's for each other. My body is no longer mine in this aspect. His is no longer his. And when they realized that they were, at first, before she bit the fruit, they didn't realize they was naked. They knew that, they didn't have no clothes on. They didn't know. And then when they saw, when she bit it, and then they realized it clicked. Wow, look at him, look at me. Something's in my eyes. They tried to cover themselves because that's when they realized it was wrong, that something wasn't right. So they go and they get the fig leaves and they put them together to cover those parts. That's when, it became, it's not a sin to see your spouse unclothed, undressed, naked. You're for each other. And as long as it's kept that way, that's when what's the word? When we're both comfortable with whatever's going on, and it's not bringing in other people or other things that don't belong, when it's you're body to body, and only in that's sacred. Just like we're the bride of Christ. When we say naked, we're also meaning the naked is open. Nothing there. It's bare. And our relationship needs to be the same. And that all roots to communication, like I said earlier. Mm-hmm. If you don't talk and tell me things about how you feel, what's going on, I don't know. If I don't tell you, you don't know. And then we play this to where, well, I'm not going to say nothing because of this, or I'm not going to say nothing because of that. Then how you're just building up a wall that is going to cause some problems.
Well, you also get to the blame game too.
Yes.
Well, it's his fault.
Well, you never said nothing.
He's looking at porn. She's doing this. She's done. So It begins to be, when sin comes in, the blame starts.
Right.
It's her fault. It's my fault. It's her fault. It's his. Well, if he wouldn't be such a sexist, I'd give him some sex. So the blame game comes into part.
Excuse me.
And it all started first when they were both naked. And what I mean, and I'm not talking about spiritual stuff tonight. I'm talking about pure nakedness. Physically.
Naked. No clothes on, undressed.
No clothes on. So here's the challenge, ladies. And I'm zeroing out ladies this week. We're going to do a challenge. Every session that we have on Marriage 101, we're going to do a challenge. In the challenge this week, ladies, and the reason why I'm giving you the challenge, because you're the one that suffer with this the most. Insecurities. I'm too fat. I'm too big. He's not going to lock me in that dress. He's not going to lock me in them panties. I'm saying it. Yeah, I said it. He's not going to lock me in that stuff. I want to challenge you. I want to literally challenge you. Let's go to this camera. I don't know why that just went out, but oh well. I want to challenge you today. Ladies, I want you to walk around the house. Now, this is a big challenge, and I don't know if I can say this on social media, but I'm going to try it. I want you to bear, I'm not going to say the N word, I guess.
In your birthday suit.
In your birthday suit, or whatever you want to say.
Right. And we, not around your children. We know you have more sense than that, but, know, with each other. I
mean, I want you to get all the children out of the house and all of this, but I want you to go bare. We'll just say it that way, okay? That's more reasonable on social media. I want you to go around your house bare with nothing on in front of your spouse. And I want you to try to wear things that you couldn't wear. And I want you to show it in front of him. Just walk right through the house in front of him. You don't have to do nothing. Just walk around the house with nothing bare. Or wear things that you regular don't wear, I want you to wear. Something he likes and you know he likes. But you don't want to wear it. Because you are battling with insecurities. And the reason why I'm giving you this challenge, because God is trying to teach you that God, even though you're probably fat, you probably gained some weight, ladies, or maybe had some kids or stretch marks or whatever your insecurity is. I want you to work through that. Because God is about to show you that you are wonderfully made. And if you just feel so insecure about your body, then it's time to go work out and do something about it. Quit letting your marriage die day by day. Does your marriage even matter? Do you even care? I mean, everybody just hits the divorce button and call it, right? Because we're going to blame him for looking at all these ladies when you're giving him nothing to look at home, ladies. Nothing. I mean, I'm sorry, you can call us sexist pigs all you want. But the truth of the matter is, it's supposed to be naked in the garden again. Both of us. And I'm sorry, but we use these excuses. Well, he looks at porn anyways. I'm not competing with other women. We're not telling you to do that. Matter of fact, you don't fuel your marriage with porn. Because we all know porn was created by the devil. And the reason why it is because it pulls us away from what God called holy, between a man and a female. You follow what I'm saying? So, our mind, and we're going to start with the mind because our mind is the biggest thing.
The battlefield.
Our mind plays a control role of sexual experiences and thoughts and emotion, desires, beliefs, influence, sexual response, satisfaction, factors such as self-esteem. Now remember, we're talking about the woman in her mind. She's dealing with insecurity. I can't fit those panties. Them panties look like crap on me. I don't care if you think they look like crap. What does your husband think?
Self-consciousness.
he could think you look wonderful. How do you know? You don't know because you don't want to get past that insecurity. When you can look in front of him, and I don't know too many ladies that can bear this. Matter of fact, they you ask them to do something like this, they run. But yet they want to sit and tell, well, he looks at porn all the time. He does this. He does this. Well, what are you doing? Because you're not helping the matter by neglecting him by your insecurities. I'm just telling some truth here, ladies. I'm not trying to be picking on you guys, but men deal with visual. I agree. We look at anything with two legs. Really, we do. But does a man really want to do that? Probably 80% of men, probably no. I'm going to say 80% because there is a 20%. It's just they're addicted to porn. They're addicted to these things, and they can't get out of it now. I mean, that's the only thing they know to look at because the wife's got a bunch of insecure problems, and he just said, what the heck? I got something inside of me. I don't know how to satisfy it, so this is what I've done. Now I'm trapped. It's just like drugs, guys. You go to drugs, you get trapped, it's hard to get out. Right. I'm not saying men are not addicted to porn, guys. That's not what I'm saying. They are. And that's how they get addicted. But see, when I first met my wife, we had to work through some things. And I wrote a book. It's on Amazon. It's called She's Naked, But She's Unashamed. And I wrote this book. It inspired me for my wife. Because God, I knew what God was trying to do inside of her and get this out of her because this is something I needed in my life too. And God knew that. And to order to complete me, she had to bow and give up her will. Because her will was, no, I'm not doing that. Sex is nasty to me. That was her will. But God's will is submission to her body to me because I needed that. I've always needed that for years. But some of these women, they won't do it. They refuse. They'll go to the divorce court and then they'll tell everybody, well, he was just a sexist pig. Well, you know what? That sexist pig had a need that you didn't want to meet. And every man has a need. And if you're trying to get married, ladies, to a man, guess what? You're going to face sex. Mm-hmm. I don't care. You're not getting around it. You might as well just stay single the rest of your life because if you're going to get in a marriage and get married to a man, you're going to face this thing called sex. That's why the title tonight, Does Sex Really Matter? And some people got to the point where sex don't matter. They just look at it like we ain't had sex and we have sex maybe one time a month. That's not good. A healthy relationship should be having sex at least one time a day. One time a day. That's what I heard from Dr. Phil about 3 years ago. He was on a podcast. Dr. Phil himself said a healthy relationship, a marriage, is supposed to be having sex one time a day. Mm-hmm. And guys, I'm going to tell you the benefits of sex. Sex can release stress. Oh, wow, really? Yeah, really. Because when you let off endorphins and you get off, ladies, the orgasms, whatever you got to do, it lets off a lot of stress you have. It lets off endorphins. It does all kind of health benefits to you. Healthy, real healthy. But the problem is, this is what we need to do. We need to quit stressing out over bills because that hinders your sex. Another thing that hinders your sex, not just stressing out over bills, but stressing out over kids, ladies. You can't help your kids. Get over it. Quit worrying about your youngins.
Your grown kids.
Quit worrying about your grown kids. They're out there. You got to pray for them. But that's hindering your sex too. I know people right now are stressed to the max over their children. And they wonder why they can't climax. They wonder why they don't have no desire for sex. Well, when you let all these things come involved, it gets rough on a marriage. Worrying about money is another thing.
Oh, yeah.
You worry about these things, you're going to hinder your sex life. And when you hinder your sex life, Satan's done got y'all too. Now you're arguing. Now he's looking at porn because you come in all the time and don't want to have sex. You just feel like, well, I don't feel good. Of course you don't. Because you got your mind in stuff that don't need to be. That's the mind we're talking about. And I'm not going to go over all three of these tonight. We're going to concentrate on the mind tonight. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about the body and the spirit. They're all three important, but the mind is a battlefield. Factors such as self-esteem, body image. I've seen more ladies I've ever seen. My wife's one of them. I'm telling you right now, I can set her in front of a mirror. She wouldn't do it. Because she's insecure of what she has right now. She just don't feel confident in herself that she can show me what she has. But then again, as men, we get blamed for that. No, that has something to do with her.
Right.
And what has something to do with me is I feel insecurity that she don't love me when she don't touch me or don't want nothing to do with me physically or emotionally. Men feel this, guys. We feel it too. I was telling my daughter, back in junior high, they used to call me the romance king. I used to be, and it's all in the, we were all in the books. Matter of fact, I was in the yearbook called the romance king. That's what they called me. I was a romance guy. I loved romancing women. I knew what they liked. I knew what it took they liked. And, well, matter of fact, I was in love with one girl and she broke my heart. But they called me the romance king. And every girl in junior high wanted to date me because they heard how I treated my fiance. And she broke my heart. Well, I wasn't no more longer the romance king. I was I wasn't a nice person. Because that's what happens when you get hurt. You hurt other people. Mm-hmm. And this romance stuff's out the door. Because, see, one thing about it, ladies, men know what you want. I can tell all of you ladies right now here tonight or listening on Facebook, every one of y'all want a man to treat you like you're the only girl in this world. Yeah, you do. If he treats you like you're the only woman that walks the face of this earth, y'all love it. If you come in every day and he's rubbing your back, treating you like the queen of the palace that you are, you'd have no problem doing anything with him. But here's the thing, ladies, that goes both ways. Because when you disrespect a man, that's what I was telling my daughter today. When you disrespect a man, you don't get that, oh, I'm gonna treat her like a queen. You don't get that. Because we did a study on kings. Back in the day, you disrespected a king in a palace, you got your head chopped off. And that's the way guys are designed. And if you guys, and ladies, if you want to find something that will help you discover your man, get the book called Wild at Heart. I read that book, and I'm telling you, that's a phenomenal book to read. It talks about the way God designed a man. And I think, man, we need to study what makes a woman tick. Because if you love one another, you will try to please one another. I told my wife the other day, I was telling my daughter this day, I said, I told my wife that I never would have dreamed I would like purple hair. It's pink and purple, but it's mixed. I thought it was pretty. I never would have dreamed that I would like that. But I told my wife, I said, that would probably look good on your hair. Why? Because it ain't that I don't think my wife's got pretty hair. I just like it. And she's told me some things I'd rather not say, but she's told me some things that she wanted me to do to my body, to fix my body up. What's wrong with that? You know, when we started dating, I picked her up in Dalton, and all of a sudden she had makeup on. She was hot. I'm just going to say. Actually, matter of fact, I wish I could have sat in the seat over there by her, but I had to drive. But like I say, she fixed herself up in. What happened to that? Really, we listen. When you get married, you're still dating. And you know, I should write a book called Still Dating. I never stopped dating. Because we meet each other, we'll fix each other. Oh, he's coming. And I can imagine what she was doing when I was going to Dalton to pick her up that night. I guarantee she's in the bathroom doing this. You know you was. See?
No doubt, that's what we're doing.
See, she was in the bathroom trying to think, oh, Lord, he's about here. What happened to that? Ladies, listen, I'm going to tell you something. If something happens to that, it's time to rebuild it. It's time to get the stomach butterflies again when he shows up at the front door. That's where God wants you.
Put some more wood on the fire, pour some more gasoline.
And you can't stop doing these things. You got to keep it exciting, like you first met her, like you first met him. And that's what I've been desiring for my wife. When I first met her, picked her up in my truck, and I could not keep my eyes off of her. I about wrecked a couple of times. I'd act like I was looking at my daughter because my daughter was sitting in between us, but I was really looking at her. She was short, but she was good looking.
That's too short.
Nothing never changes. We change. Nothing should never change. But you know what happens? We get complacent. We get lazy. I was in there today shaving because I know she likes me all good and, you know, whatever. I'm taking care of myself. I know, but see, that's what I done when I first met her. I wouldn't dare show up around her looking like Wooly Hooly. But the mind is so powerful. So powerful. It has factors such self-esteem, body image, past experiences. See, that's what we was dealing with when we went and watched the movie, past experience. It affects things. Culturalism, norms can impact how we perfect and engage in sexual activities. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. I will say this, and I'm going to let my wife say something. Sex is so important. I've seen two things bust up a marriage over the years. It's money and sex. Thank you guys for them balloons. I really do appreciate that. Thank you guys. So, what do you say about the body? I mean, about the mind. What do you got to say?
Well, the mind is a battlefield. Mind will sit and tell you, and we're hearing it, and we're rehearsing things maybe from our past. It's all up here. That, like I said, it's a battlefield. Things from your past, or in your mind, you're sitting there thinking, well, you know, I've got all these rolls to butter, you know, and I don't want. I mean, they're there. He knows they're there. He can see they're there. Even you can cover it with clothes, but when you take them off, they're still going to be there. And if, like he was saying, if you are that self-conscious and you do feel that, do something about it. I'm working on that myself. Right now, I'm working on it. That's all I can do as far as that part. Well, then you got your mind also telling you, well, I've never liked to wear stuff like that. Uh, Even if I was 110 pounds, I still wouldn't wear stuff like that. Um, it plays in your mind. Everything goes straight to the mind. Whether you hear something, and then it plays in your mind. You live through something, you rehearse it in your mind. The mind is a battlefield, and it will play havoc on your marriage, especially with the topic of sex. Um, I see things sometimes I like. I'm a big girl. You might not like to see a big girl in certain things, a piece of undergarments or certain dresses or tops. Now, I do dress modest, however I dress. You can still look good and be modest without showing off everything to everybody else. But if I was to walk through the house with a certain piece of garment on, and I'm thinking, oh Lord, in my mind, I'm thinking, this looks awful. I hate this, but I'm going to do it because he likes it. When you do that a time or two, you start getting comfortable with it. Well, this did make him happy. He does like this. He had told me a story. Excuse me, not a story, it actually happened. About being at a pool. And there was a lady that had on something that what he thought did not look good. I wouldn't want my wife come out here looking like that. That's a lot of lady right there. No offense, because honey, we're big people too. We're southern sides. But this is just how your mind will play with you and work your emotions. Well, she noticed that she could tell what he was thinking in his mind. Said, you see that man right there? That's my husband. I might not like this, but he loves it. You sacrifice for what your spouse wants and likes, as long as it's within, barrier, especially in public. There's things, there are guidelines. But, that's how the mind will work, but I'm a big girl. There's certain things I still won't wear, that even, no matter what my size was, I don't dress but certain ways. Cute but modest. Nice but modest. But like as far as a bathing suit, just for example, I wouldn't go out this house with a two-piece on and all this right here bare and then try to find a bikini. You hear what I'm saying? And you can't see where it starts and where it ends because it's hid with all this right here. But he likes that. And if it's in our home and I'm not out exposing myself, then we learn to do it. And like he was saying earlier, if you have that insecurity, you don't like your hair looks this way, and I know, okay, Jason likes longer hair. I like longer hair. But for some health reasons, I had to keep it cut short. I would go shorter now because it's going peep instead of this way. It's growing this way. But anyway, that's what he likes. So I'm trying to let it grow back out. If you're not happy, you don't think your husband likes, I love the silver, the gray hair. But if you don't think he likes it, you want to make him happy with it, go color it. Things that make your spouse happy, do for them within logics.
Because one thing you got to realize in a relationship, it's all about pleasing the other.
Yeah, it's not just about you.
And if you want to live for yourself, then all means, ladies or men, then be single, really. Because when you get in a relationship, it's no longer about you. It's not about me either. It's about her, what she likes. And like I say, when we learn that, now I'm not saying she can't have a day where she likes going to such and such and like her own stuff, but what I'm saying sexually, we're constantly doing what we like when a relationship's all about submitting to one another. Because think about it, if you here's what I see a lot of people do, and I'm gonna pick on men and women. They don't please their wife, and when she's gone, or vice versa, when they're gone, they're sitting here thinking, "What did I do wrong?" Well, what did you do? Your 90% of your relationship was selfish. It was all about you. And when you get married, it's not that way. Because if you don't learn to please her and she don't learn to please you, the relationship eventually go. Think about it, guys. Jesus gave his life for you. That's a revelation of the marriage. Did he want to give his life? He didn't want to give his life. But he said, I willingly lay it down. So he gave everything he ever dreamed and wanted to us, and that's the picture of the marriage. That's the picture of the wedding. That's the picture of the husband and wife. My life is not my own.
Nope.
My life is a part of her. I got to please her. I got to make sure I wake up every morning and knowing she's protected. And that's what you ladies want. You want protection. You know why this lady loves me right here? I'm going to tell you why she loves me. She knows I can protect her spiritually. She knows that. And if she'll tell you the truth, she tells me all the time, you see stuff I don't see. Right. And that's what ladies like. They want a godly. Now, I'm talking about godly women. I ain't talking about women out there that don't know God. I'm talking about a godly woman. You know what she wants? She wants a man to protect her spiritually, knowing that he sees the enemy coming in before she does. Some women appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
And some women don't give a flip.
Nope.
And that's why I think she clings to me, because she knows I see stuff she don't see. But that's okay. God designed me for that.
Right.
Because I am the head of this house.
Well, there's a reason it says women are the weaker vessel. They need protection spiritually, physically, emotionally. We all know. As we get older, us women, and men have them too, but women, we do go through the change of life. And I mean, it's designed that way. That's just how it is. But just because we're going through that, don't mean we neglect and deprive. And we do. Sometimes not deliberately, and sometimes just because, we feel like they don't understand this change that our body is going through, because they don't have to go through it. And we feel like, they're not understanding. They don't, it's just like, okay, we don't understand the man sometimes of how their testosterone, I'm just going to be clean, but open. We know they have needs. And we know what to do to help those needs. Well, a woman, we have 3 hormones. So when we are going through this change, that's what we feel like. You feel like a male feels like I have needs that need to be met, but when a woman is going through the change, and a man will never experience, ever, what a woman does with that. It's not nothing she wanted. She didn't ask to be that way. And it's like we want that man to feel all those emotions we're having to feel, just as y'all want us to have to experience what you feel with that. Now, Lord have mercy, it plays havoc on a marriage. It really does. We get in this change of life is a process. It starts early and then it moves on, and as you get older, and then you want that security and that protection from your husband. I just please bear with me. Understand what I'm going through. This is hard on me. I don't want it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And nothing that my husband can do to fix that. All he can do is be here and to love me through it. Whereas when we're there for them, when they're needing satisfied, their intimacy, and you're like, you don't feel like holding your head up. You feel all these emotions and you start crying because you don't know where it's coming from, and you know what you want to give and do, but that right there is pulling at you. That's how we feel when we're going through this. We wish our husbands could feel what we feel, but if we don't communicate with them through that, they don't understand, and vice versa. I mean, we know that your husband has needs, and we know how to meet those needs. But it's like, I've heard him say, I wish a woman could feel what we feel, the urges, the this. And I do. I really do understand that. I do with all my heart. But then goes right back to the mind. I mean, no matter what, we have to push that aside and say, God, you created this. You created a man for a woman for a man, and this is my husband, and I know what he needs, and I'm gonna do it. You fulfill each other's needs because you're doing it unselfishly. Yeah, we feel like crap. We feel all this other stuff going on, and we know what it is. So that's why, in my experience, I'm experiencing all this right now. But you are not yours anymore. He is not his anymore. We're each other's. So, you said we were talking about the mind, and that's what it does. It plays havoc.
And you do it because you love one another.
Yes.
Not because it's a command.
Right.
It is a process of love. Because, like I told my wife, making intimacy or having sex or getting in the bedroom and doing the intercourse or however you do it, to me, sex starts right here. It don't start in the bedroom.
Right.
It starts with being honest with one another. Mm-hmm. It starts communication. It starts with me looking in her eyes and telling her everything about me, my thoughts. What did I think today? How did I think? Because if I hold anything back from her, that bedroom don't mean nothing.
And that's where
it's almost like you just go in there and have the sex thing. Okay, ladies, bam, bam. Okay, you done? Okay. So that's what it's like. I mean, it's almost like a one-night stand. I know y'all probably had a one-night stand. I have. I've not always been a Christian. I've had the one-night stands. It don't mean nothing. But what means more than everything, if I can look into her eyes, and I'm fascinated about looking in my wife's eyes, by the way. But anyways, because when I look in her eyes, I see her soul. That's how I connect with her soul. And that's what we're going to be talking about, mind, body, and spirit. Because her spirit is in her eyes. I can see what's inside of her soul. I see I can get more intimate inside of her soul, inside of her spirit. Because, ladies, here's what your problem is. And I'm gonna share this with you, and then we're going to have to end. Your problem is not emotions. Your problem is not, and I know that's what my wife just said, but here's your main problem. Your spirit man is broken. That's it. Your spirit, and that's where Eve got wrong when she went to Satan to try to figure things out. See, that's what y'all do. Y'all are designed to say, well, I can't talk to my husband, I'm going to go elsewhere.
Because your emotions are playing right here, once again, in the mind.
In the mind. So the mind is the spirit. And that's where y'all are broken, and that's where a godly man can repair that spirit inside of you, and you can become whole again. You can become naked again. You become unashamed again. You can come where Eve was walking through the garden. You know, I always imagine how Eve really was in front of Adam. I guarantee she was like this, just showing her breast off or her whatever. You know, she was naked, guys. And she, no shame, look at him. Hey, Adam, just no problem. Nothing like this. Oh, he's looking at me. My rose. He's looking at my rose. No, there was no shame between the two. And guys, I can't express this enough. When I can look at her and she can think at me looking at her, and she don't have a shame in the world, just like that woman that I met at that swim club. She might look like crap to me. But honey, let me tell you something. In his eyes, she was a queen. And she bound and determined. She said, you see that man over there? That's my husband, and he likes this on me. And you know what? I like him liking that on me. So she had no shame or nothing.
Right.
She had no shame. And ladies, let me tell you something. If you're trying to please the whole world, then who are you really married to?
Good luck.
Really, who are you married to? If you walk out at TJ Maxx and get whatever y'all wear, shorts, blah, et cetera, and you have to fix up for the world, but you never fix up for your husband, I'm kind of leery who you're married to. Really. Because ladies, if you ain't fixing up for your husband, then who are you fixing up for? I mean, I understand that some ladies just want to fix up to feel good about themselves. I completely understand that. But if you don't get up every morning and think, you know what is he like on me? Because I want him to stare at me today. I want him to look at me. I want him to look at me down and say, Eve, come here. But see, the old temptation has always been this. We try to figure things out on our own without the Lord's help. Guys, the garden was just as much Eve's fault than it was Adam's. She was over there talking to somebody she had no business talking to, number one. And guys, let me tell you something. One thing I learned about the garden, she wouldn't have never been over there talking to nobody if you would have been listening to her. That's what I'm guilty of. Women love to talk. And we need to be an ear to hear what she's got to say. And I'm guilty. Men's got one track mind. We got to get stuff done. We don't take the time to sit down and just listen to our women.
And sometimes vice versa. Communication.
And sometimes it takes 50 minutes to know what she's going through for today. Sometimes, like, baby, look, let's sit on here. At least give me 5-10 minutes. Tell me about your day. What'd you do? How'd you do it? How'd you accomplish it? I've known numerous times this one right here has followed me around the house and even come up here 4 or 5 times, but I've been so busy at work, this, that. I'm guilty. She's wanting to express. She's wanting to let things go. You know how like we want sex, guys? Well, that's how she wants sex. She wants sex as far as talking and listening to her. And I know, guys, sometimes you don't want to listen to her because you think, well, you know what? What she talks about don't make no darn sense. I mean, what does it matter? It matters to her. And that's what I'm guilty of. And all of us men are guilty of it, because I was talking to some men today, and they all do it. Because men, we want to get going. A woman, she'll sit right here and tell you about the whole details of this mic, how it was designed, how it was this. Well, let me tell you, Jason, you don't understand. This mic works like, and they'll go around the whole mulberry bush. Us, we'll just tell you, hey, it's a darn mic. You speak in it, boom, all right, we're done. But not them. They want to tell you who designed the mic, who did this. And let me tell you a story about the mic. You know, this was in a store, and I'm thinking, okay, get to the darn point. Let's get it done. That's how they are. You can't do nothing about that. They're talkers. We need to be listeners. Man, I know you don't want to sit at the restaurant and hear her talk about, hey, baby, you don't understand. I saw this yesterday, blah, 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 blah. And men, I know what we feel. You think, okay, get to the darn point. Dang. We're short and sweet. They're long. And they want to tell you the whole story. A woman, she can get in that car, put in the GPS. She wants to go the long way around. Man wants to go the short way because he wants to hurry up and get there. That's how women are designed. They want to know details. Let me tell you what a woman does. This woman right here can tell you my birthday. She can tell you the last time we dated, last time we kissed, last time we held hands. I can't tell you crap. She can. That's how detailed they are. They remember stuff. They take note. And they remind you of stuff. That's how they are. And if we don't take the time to just sit down and listen to them, so what if it don't make no sense? So what if you think it's boring? Okay, we're tired of hearing about the picket fence. Well, if you don't listen to her, something else is going to be talking to her. And that's why Eve fell to Satan's trap, because she had no attention. Number one key, women love attention. They love attention. This is what they need. Shut up and just look. Let her talk. Seriously. That's what God's showing me. Because if you don't let her talk, and don't be over here looking at this. She wants all eyes on deck.
Well, everyone wants to feel like they're being heard.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I can be washing dishes, and he can be talking to me, and I'm hearing every word he says. And then I go to drying dishes, and I'm still hearing. But am I listening? We can hear everything, but are we listening? Excuse me. And that's like sometimes we were talking the other day, and I said sometimes just to look at each other and talk. That he can be changing the oil on the motorcycle. And here I am trying to talk to him about something, or he's asked me something, and it's just hurry up and get it done, you know. And I'm the same way. But when you're hearing everything they say, but it's not listening. Each other, whichever it is, you can hear everything, but if you're listening, and I told him sometimes you just gotta stop. Drop what you're doing. Leave them dishes. They'll still be there, I promise. They'll still be there in a minute. They'll be there tomorrow. But just to take the time. When you're looking at each other and talking, yeah, you might be sitting there thinking, I should shut her mouth. You know, that's what he's thinking. But I'm trying to make a point. You're seeing. You can see more into each other, and you're actually listening. You're not just hearing, you're listening. Whether you do it or not, but it's actually sinking in. You might do it later. But you can holler at a kid, stop doing this, stop doing this. You're washing dishes, that kid's over there just tearing up Jack. And until you go over there and look at that child and said, I said, stop what you're doing and sit your hind end down. He's going to listen then. It's that noticing each other. Mm-hmm. Realizing, okay, Mama's right here in my face. I better stop doing this. Or, he's right here talking to me. I need to listen. Mm-hmm. That contact, the face-to-face, it helps. It really does. And we got to take that time. If it means anything to you, take that time.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm going to say this and then because it's getting late. But listening to her, undivided attention, does sex really matter? Mm-hmm. This is going to help your sex life. Just by listening to her.
Right, it makes you feel like, and that's sexual. You don't think about it.
Because so many women I've heard this week, I got friends I talk to has marriage problem. That's what their wife. He never listens to me. He never listens to me. You know why they feel that way? You see what I just done to her when she was talking? I looked at her eyes, focused. Now she knows I'm listening. But when I'm doing this and she's talking, she knows I ain't listening to her. Yeah, he's not listening to me.
And it's whether something's important or not.
Yeah.
And that happens both ways. It really does. It's not just the male, it's the female. I mean, you got to stop and make that time. Because when you're trying to talk and be on the warpath, going this way, you're going to work this way, I'm going to work this way, and we're trying to get ready for, I'm sorry, baby, whatever. It's just going in one ear and out the other. You're hearing, but you're not listening. Mm-hmm. And then you get up the road. I thought I told you we did this or we was going that. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. It's because you're talking and I'm hearing you, but I'm not listening.
And let me tell you another thing what a lady does too. I've been sitting here watching my wife, and this is how men don't pay attention to things. But now that I'm focused on her and everything she's doing right now, I paid attention. And this is crazy, but I might get in a doghouse for this, but I'm going to say it. I've never noticed she had 3 rings on. See how detailed we're not and see how detailed they are? I guarantee you she knows what I got on every day. Mm-hmm. She pays attention. Men don't pay attention. They got a one-track mind. That's it. All we want to do, get to the point, let's go on. We don't want to check out details. They do. And that's why they're the ones that got tempted in the garden, because they always are trying to find details. But I noticed something about her. And I tell you, that's attractive to a woman. Attractive to a woman. When you can come up to her and say, baby, you know what? I saw what was on you yesterday. Really? Did you? Yeah, I've been looking at it the whole time. They love that. Because now you're paying attention to them. Right. Now you notice what they're wearing.
And vice versa.
Hey, baby, you had on a bra the other day that just looked beautiful. Oh, really? What color was it? Oh, it was pink. Really? You was paying attention. We don't, men don't pay attention.
Like one day I said, "Did you see that yellow car going up the road? What color was it?" He said. And I've done the same thing, and you can't help but laugh at it, you know. And a lot of times it's not intentional. Men and women, we get so wrapped up in what's here, there, and everywhere besides what's right here.
Oh yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna go ahead and give tonight. If you want to sow a seed in the ministry, you're more than welcome to. That phone number, I know my wife's not on there to put it on there or not. But anyways, if you want to sow a seed tonight, you can text to one.
Text the word "give" to 833-645-2820.
See, she ain't even looking at it. See how they pay attention? We have to look. I done forgot the number.
Pay attention, I don't listen.
Yeah, they pay attention. We don't.
No, I just...
Well, they pay attention big time.
We remember more, I guess we could
And
say.
they remember a lot. So, if you want to give tonight, that phone number is 833
645-2820.
and text the word "give" to that number tonight. Sow a seed tonight, guys. If you have a $50 seed, sow a $50 seed. If you have a $100 seed, sow $100. Somebody tonight needs to step out on faith and sow a $200 seed. I really feel that in the spirit, and I usually don't do this, and I don't tell people what to sow. I really don't. I never have. But I feel tonight somebody needs to release a $200 seed. I'm telling you, God will bless you for this. Release the seed tonight. And you can sow it through that number.
833-645-2820.
2820. And that's it, guys. We're out of here tonight.
Have a good night and a good weekend.
And a good weekend.
I want to pee on myself. I hope you're not still on there.
We thank you for listening to the Kingdom Radio. If you would love to support us and help us reach more people for Jesus Christ, go to www.godsavingministries.com/partnership or give on Venmo at God Saving Ministries or Cash App at God Saving Ministries. And remember, let's build the kingdom of God down here on earth.